On Saturday morning, guys, we woke up to news that James Harden had been arrested over the weekend. These are some of the details we learned about the arrest. It happened in Houston, Harris County. At 3:41, he was pulled over and arrested for unlawful carrying. He is a registered handgun permit holder, I guess is the right word, but the gun was not holstered in his vehicle, which is what led to the arrest. He was released on a $100 bond. That's not a typo. It was a $100 bond.
Yeah.
And he has to go back.
Jason's last speeding ticket was more than that.
That's fact. $100 bond was released. He's obviously going through a bit of a contract negotiation state with the Cavs right now. He has a player option. The Cavs want him to decline the player option, sign a longer-term deal that would lower his annual average value on the salary so it gets below them, the second apron. Jason, do you think this incident will have any impact whatsoever on James Harden's negotiations with the Cavs or how they try to handle this?
No, this is nothing. If you're looking for reasons not to bring back James Harden, this doesn't crack the top 150. This is the gun was out on the seat next to him. We were talking during the break, like, if you're James Harden, you got to have a gun.
I'd have a gun with me all the time.
All the time.
You better have one.
In this world?
Yeah.
I mean,
they've been
crazy.
trying. Do you know, like, I look at, it's a hazardous health to be a black athlete or a black rapper. It's hazardous. They routinely shoot people. Like, so the thing I'm looking at is, if you're James Harden at that level, that's just not safe.
My bigger concern is at 341, is he out doing dumb stuff? That's my bigger concern.
He was at a hookah lounge with friends.
Okay.
According to the police report, he was leaving from the hookah lounge.
Yeah, I always go back to, like, when you're on the road at those hours and doing, it's just bad stuff always happens.
Nothing good happens fast.
Trust said 10, and that's early, but I mean, I kind of agree. It's like, honestly, I got home last night. I had a flight, got back from my anniversary trip, and it's like, I think we landed at like 1:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And even being on the road at 1:30 in the morning, it's like, there's other people on the road. They're doing dumb stuff. I don't know. It's just you try to be a little bit more aware. Especially when you're a high-profile athlete. But I mean, the gun charge is nothing.
Yeah, and he's legally a gun carrier.
And he's allowed to do anything he wants.
He's got CCP.
Yeah. So for me, I always tell you, like you said, I used to go out all the time, and I used to. When I was by myself, I used to be like, man, I want a midnight snack. I'm gonna go to the gas station. And then I realized how crazy it is. You know how many people get caught up in LA or Chicago or wherever you at a gas station.
You just don't want to be at a gas station at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
Hey, I heard 2 Chainz say, listen, I got a Cybertruck, a bulletproof one, because it's an electric car. And he's like, because everybody I know, they get caught at a gas station. And I was like, that's wild work. And it is true. It's when you are that high profile and that recognizable, basketball players don't wear helmets. If you're a left guard for the Titans, no one knows who you are.
Well, you got a beard that looks like his.
When you got the beard and you in Houston, Texas,
oh man,
they know who you is at all time. Yeah,
And he's not driving a Honda Civic.
Honest. He's driving something that was exotic.
Yeah,
I know it was exotic. Yeah,
probably some big old Rolls Royce or something. Some Phantom.
That's crazy. Yeah, you got to have a driver. But then again, these guys don't like to live in fish bowls. By the way, Dan Gilbert probably didn't even wake up. Like, do you believe that Dan Gilbert has an emergency line, like where they say, you call me at this time
like the bat phone.
If this happens, like the bat phone?
Yeah.
You don't call the owner, no. You call security. You call team security.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't even okay, let's say that James Harden was involved in something very, very serious.
Yeah.
He'd get a call.
Oh, he would get a call.
Yeah. Not for this.
Yeah,
Not
this.
Okay, yeah. So there's levels, like there's hey, this is going on. He's like, no, this is not the protocol. Or if it's like a Minimowski guy, if Jalen Tyson got in trouble, does he get a different call if it's Evan Mobley?
Dan?
Yes.
Yeah. In terms of timing, like how quickly do you make him aware of it?
Yeah. Is there a pecking? Is there a hierarchy?
Yeah. At what point in time do you wake Dan Gilbert up in the middle of the night?
Yes.
It would have to be. I'm not joking.
Like life or death?
It'd be death.
Yeah.
It would have to be a death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get to the point, McNuggets, where I got that level of phone screening. The fact that you said,
Don't call me unless someone's dead.
do not call my phone.
I mean,
unless
an arrest, he'll be there in the morning. You deal with it in the morning. Like it would have to rise to the level of a death to disrupt the. I mean, pre-stroke, Dan was up 22 hours in a day anyway.
Right.
That dude never slept ever. I don't know about now, but like, I mean, you would get emails, text at all hours.
Yeah.
From him. Mm-hmm. So that, I mean, again, it's a little bit different maybe than what it is now. But now it would have to be catastrophic to wake up the owner of the team.
Right. Like, dog, that's crazy. Does anybody have? I don't know how this devolved into this. I mean, is there only certain people they even got that? Like maybe Kobe Altman, and that's it. That the rest of y'all can't even get in contact with Dan. He's just, if he calls you, you know you probably get.
Well, fired. I mean, everybody's got his number. You got his number. They got his number.
Really?
A lot of people have Dan's number.
Do you have it?
I had it until he changed it.
Oh, look, Jason Lloyd, listen, this is what I'm talking about. You need to get on this LeBron. I need the LeBron story immediately because obviously you way more plugged in. You got Dan Gilbert's on the speed dial.
Yeah, but because you have someone's number doesn't mean that you're
They're
not
gonna
on.
answer.
Doesn't mean you're getting through. Because like I've got the do not disturb on my phone,
right,
and I've got like 20 people that it can get through, at all times.
Right. So it is correct. You can have a number and it's just in the back of your mind, oh, I got this person's number, but it's even worse because you would never think about calling them.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't just straight up call them.
My phone has some crazy numbers in it from PR people who send it, hey, if you can't reach them for the interviews, this is
their direct line.
I think my answer rate would be like 0.3% on the list of names that look really cool in a contact list that don't actually know who the hell I am in any regard whatsoever.
Or like you would be embarrassed because some of these phone numbers that you actually got don't. Like,
they probably don't ring that same person anymore.
They ain't in that same person, and you're going straight to voicemail immediately. Yeah. So it don't really matter. So
on James Harden, real quick though, I'm just curious for you guys. This has nothing to do with the arrest. We're all under the assumption he's coming back regardless. This arrest has nothing to do with the future negotiations he has with Cleveland. I fully expect him to sign a multi-year deal, whether it's 2 or 3 years, I don't know, but it'll be a multi-year deal. He'll decline his player option and sign at a lower annual average so that the Cavs can get under the second apron. With a full year and a training camp, and now some previous playing experience with the bigs, with Donovan, with Kenny Atkinson, what do you guys think James Harden looks like in year 2 with the Cavs, assuming he does come back? Like, what areas do you think he could still improve upon to fit in better with how the rest of the roster is constructed?
He's going to look exactly the same.
Same.
He's what, 37?
Yeah, but I mean, I think he could look differently in terms of how he fits in with the offense. Like, when does he, like, I feel like there was some times in the postseason when he was like a little unsure of when he needs to take on the role of being the playmaker.
Right.
You know, and he's always been the guy for the most part during his career in Cleveland. Now he's secondary or third, you know, and so being able to understand that role, take on that role, I think has taken a little bit of a toll on him. And maybe next year it looks a little bit differently. Maybe his assists go up a little bit higher. Maybe his points per game go down a little bit. I don't know. I just think that he'll be more comfortable. You have to be.
He'll be more comfortable. I think it does play a little bit of a role. He came in and they played a completely different style prior to him getting there. However, the way you can make him look better is getting more people that are better. If you got James Harden,
How can you make him better? Get people that are better.
You get better people, right? Then if James Harden is your third option,
and stop asking him to do too much. Frankly,
thank you.
Like let's not have this expectation that James Harden's Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
like he turns 37 in 2 months, guys. You know who he is. You know what you're getting. Ain't nothing changing now.
They have to get him off the ball more. I mean, there was some clips going around where James Harden was in his prime. And he was putting up 31, 32, 10, 11 assists, 9 rebounds, and he still had his explosion. And Kobe said, I just don't think that style of basketball is winnable. I don't. Now, if he played that, think about it. He's played with KD and Kyrie in their prime. He's played with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on the same team. Mm-hmm. He's played with KD. He's played with Russell Westbrook. He's played on some damn good teams, and those guys were phenomenal, and they didn't win. So if he's going to be a little diminished now, they have to tweak the way he's going to play, because I think one thing that you've shown, I think he can't blow past people as he once used to, which makes it a little difficult for the team to get buckets.
I think pressure bothers him more. Ball pressure bothers him more than it did maybe 10 years ago.
Yes.
And that's not going to get any better.
Yeah, and I don't know how that happens. McNuggets, how does like he's been a point guard and he's had the ball in his hands
his whole life.
How does how does pressure in his ball handle get worse?
Easy. He's not as quick.
That's it.
He's old. I mean, he's not old yet, but he's old.
He's old. For NBA, he's old.
Well, he's old for the NBA. I'm just saying he's not like 37. Is not old. But when you have a dude like Asar Thompson, who's 23 years old, 6'7", with the 6'10" wingspan, who's laterally one of the quickest athletes in the world, and you're 37-year-old James Harden, who is not at the same level of athlete you once were to blow by guys, and you have to kind of use your ability to get them on their heels with that little hesitation. He goes between the legs twice in this little hesitation, sees where the opponent's upper leg, front leg, or whatever you want to call it, goes and attacks that. Well, his first step burst isn't blowing by people like it used to. He was unstoppable in those situations back in Houston because he was not a peak premier Russell Westbrook kind of athlete, but he was a really good athlete, and he's strong as an ox. But now he's 37, he's moving a half step slow, and he's not creating the same level of separation. So I don't think it's pressure impacts him differently than it did 10 years ago. I just think he can't beat it the same way he did 10 years ago.
Same with LeBron. Like, LeBron gets picked more than he ever did 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, when they 20, 30 feet from the basket, it's a long way to that basket, bro. Like 20, 30 feet, like that's the difference between handles. Everybody got handles if you below the key. Man, I need you to have handles at the 3/4 mark. Can you have them there? So,
can I add one thing to how Harden could improve in year 2 with the Cavs versus the first season? He's never played with two bigs before. So figuring out the spacing in some of those pick-and-roll pocket passes when there's another big kind of clogging the lane, I think that can improve. And also, and maybe more importantly, when he came in last year, it was too late to integrate him into the system that Kenny Atkinson likes to run, right? Like, there's the famous James Harden quote, "I am the system." And to an extent, that is 100% accurate, especially when you don't have time to actually practice and put him through what you want to do. I am very curious to see how Kenny Atkinson and this staff kind of handle using Harden in some off-ball roles more, because as he gets older and older and as he struggles more and more to get past some of the premier defenders in isolation situations, they're going to have to use him in other things. He'll never be an off-ball cutter like an OG Anunoby or Mikal Bridges. Like, that's just not his game. But he also can be better than where he was this year when he wasn't familiar with how the offense wanted to run and didn't know his teammates nearly as well. So giving him a training camp to learn some of the little nuances, I'm not saying it's going to change the trajectory of the Cavs. I don't think it changes James Harden as a player. But those are areas where I could see him getting better.
I mean, with that being said, we just end the conversation like that. Can the Cavs beat the Knicks?
Right now?
Yeah. If James Harden has an off season, can they beat the Knicks?
Can they? Yes.
Yeah, can they? Yes.
Sure.
Would I pick them to? No.
No. Totally agree.
All right.
They need to make changes. I'm fully planting my flag on the island of this Cavs team cannot win a championship as currently constructed. So.
Yeah.